Please behave, Nicholas. Please behave.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lex and I would greatly appreciate if you would consider supporting the channel by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. It helps to get the videos out there and it inspires me to keep creating. In addition to that, I have a $1 channel membership, and if you would like to go that extra mile to support the content, support the channel, girl, it's daily, it's consistent, and it's going to continue to be that way all throughout the summer and probably for the rest of the year. Let's be honest, there is a ton of shows, even outside of Love Island, that I have planned for this channel. So I hope you stay along for the ride. If you have not hit subscribe yet, and you've been here multiple times, and I know that some of y'all, okay, I'm looking at y'all, I know that some of y'all that have been seeing this video come up, or my videos, in your recommended page, and you keep clicking them and you're like, wait a minute, I'm not even subscribed yet. Okay, I've been there. So please consider supporting the channel. It means the world to me. I have a goal to hopefully reach 8,000 subscribers by the end of this show, Love Island. I thought that my goal was 7.5, but y'all did it. Y'all did it in a few weeks. So I can't, hey, I am so grateful, but thank you guys so much. I know I'm rambling. Today, we are going to talk about Love Island Season 7, Episode 19. And of course, we know this is the start of Casa Amor. The girls are going over to Casa today. The guys are staying in the villa. Let's jump into it. Let's get into Casa. We have lots of notes, lots of new people, lots of new faces. So let's jump into this. So the beginning of this episode starts off with Iris and Amaya thanking the girls, being extremely grateful to them for saving the two of them.
I'm extremely sad that Hannah had to go home, but extremely grateful that I'm still here.
Yeah, and I just also want to say thank you guys.
For Amaya, she is having a bit of a hard time because obviously Hannah had to leave instead of her, so she's a bit emotional. Love Island producers, they don't put this together and answered all the questions that have been floating around the internet about the dumping. Why wasn't Amaya crying this time? Why wasn't she in tears? What was the reasoning behind everything? So that was what the first part of this episode was, just getting all of those answers. Now the girls are reassuring Amaya, look, no matter what, Hannah still got to have two great connections in the house, so that should be something she should be grateful for in general. And I just thought that was such a weird answer, because I'm like, if she had two great connections, why would you take her out? I feel like and I was watching another video, I forgot whose video I was watching, but they were saying that this cast is kind of making up their own rules for how Love Island should be played, and then they're breaking their own rules, and I was like, that is so spot on, it's not even funny. Because that is so true. Because right now you're telling me that you took Hannah out because she had connections? Usually the name of the game is to make connections and go through to the end, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm misunderstanding what Love Island is. So to me to say, oh, we took Hannah out because she got all she needed out of the experience, or she had two great connections and now it's time to let her go, it just feels like such a weird answer. In reality, Amaya had no connections, and I get it. The girls clearly like Amaya more than they like Hannah, hence the reason that they kept her. But I just find it to be such a weird answer overall. I don't know. So Amaya does point out that she realizes how the guys were also really shocked about the decision to get out Hannah and keep them instead. So Amaya's feeling some type of way now, like, oh dang, did the guys want me to go home, basically? Hoda's like, we made that decision. We did. Don't worry about them. We made that decision. But overall, this is what it is. They chose to keep y'all two, and that is what it is. Like I said, I think it should have been Iris Booty going home. That is me personally, but I don't know. While everyone is talking, Ace and Shelly are having a conversation.
It was almost as if it was like an instant thing they haven't really explored versus...
Shelly is explaining that the girls decided to get out Hannah because of how quickly the connection happened with Pepe. Ace is still wondering, so why did y'all not get out Amaya? It just doesn't really make sense. Shelly says that despite what happened between Ace and Amaya, Amaya has still been gleeful, she's been happy, she's been motivated to continue to try to talk to other people. It just don't make sense. Y'all just didn't like Hannah. Okay, I don't know if there's some behind the scenes tea we ain't seen. Maybe Hannah wasn't really jiving with the girls like that. Y'all just ain't like her, and that's why you got her out. And okay. The guys are explaining their decision, and their decision to get Jeremiah out is that they felt that he was going to repeat the same cycle over and over and over again. And to me, again, it feels like such weird reasoning, but whatever. Nick and Sierra, they have a conversation.
On another subject, that night that we had that conversation,
and they start to talk about the decision. Sierra's like, well, as the girls, we just felt that Hannah had got what she needed. Nick's like, I don't really care. It's y'all's decision. Nick was like, anywho, let's talk about the other night when you decided that you were going to turn around and roll away from me during that night. What was that all about? Sierra says, look, I'm gonna be honest. I felt like we were way more into this than we actually are. And so for me, I realized that I may have played my cards completely wrong, hearing that you are open to other connections. Nick tries to say, no. That's not really what is going down. I do see a future, and I see us being on the road to being closed off. So I really do want to explore this. And I'm like, Nick, give me a break, Nick. Nick, you are here for a good time, not a long time. And I wish you would just let Sierra know. Even saying we are on the road to closing it off. What does that mean? What does that mean? That is just talk for I am going to keep playing and keep playing and keep playing until I feel like I don't want to play no more. But they kiss on it, and it is time to go to bed. Before bed, we see Amaya sobbing in the dressing room really hard about having to send Hannah home, and the girls come in to comfort her, but overall, let's get to the next morning. So morning rolls around, and TJ brings coffee for all of the single ladies. Everyone goes downstairs just having some light chatter, but Huda gets a text. It says, pucker up. It is time for a kissing competition. So we go on over, and all of the guys are standing on these hearts, kind of like day one. They are blindfolded, and they have headphones on. In walks Ariana wearing, I don't know, girl, it was giving Little Mermaid. She had like on, I don't even know. I love Ariana. I love Ariana. She comes in with these giant posters, and it's like, shh, you know, something about to happen. She comes in with these posters. She says, don't worry, this is not a dumping, but it is time for you guys to pack up your bags, to the girls, because it is time for a new beginning. You guys are on the way to Casa Amor, and everyone is so happy. We get the walkout shot of them with their suitcases. Remember last year, Rob and Cordell, the way they jumped over? Today it was Huda and Amaya. They was so happy. Amaya had the suitcase over her head. Huda was jumping over the suitcase, and they are on the way to Casa. Of note, I feel like the Casa Villa, I love the room that has that sort of hidden door. They talked about it on After Sun a little bit. So quietly, as the original girls, they go over to Casa. The new Casa Amor girls walk on in. Let's introduce them. First up, we have Grayson. She is 25 years old, and she has her eye on Nick. And I was like, maybe Nick gonna have his eye on her? Let's see. Clark, 25, a baddie. I don't care. She is a baddie. She has her eye on a few of these guys. She doesn't say who yet. Now we have Vanna. She is 21, and she talks about Ace being so funny. So I guess she has her eye on Ace. I was like, 21? Ooh, she young. Coco, 24. Fine. Coco. Ooh, I saw Coco, and I was like, oh, what y'all doing? What y'all doing? Why are you bringing somebody? Ooh, she is so fine. It's not even funny. And Jaden, 24. So Ariana lets them know you are going to be getting up and you are going to kiss each one of these boys, and they are going to rate these kisses 1 through 10.
It was a great kiss, tasted pretty good. I'd give it a 7.5.
That one started very aggressive and stayed like that.
First up, we have Grayson. So Grayson kisses Pepe first, and he said it was a nice kiss. It was very sensual. She then goes to TJ. Taylor is scared because she grabs him. I was like, oh, why she grab him like that? And Austin was on his, I'm going to pick all these girls all the way up. Austin loves that move where he picks you up and he leans back and he brings you over. So they rate the kisses. Pepe rates it a 10. Pepe rates almost every kiss a 10, by the way. TJ says it was off rhythm. It wasn't feeling like it was flowing correctly. He gives it a 7. I'm like, TJ, shut up. You gotta go home anyway. Ace says a 6. Austin gives it a 7.5. And Nick says it was a little friendly. This person seemed very friendly, but he knows he's never kissed this person. 6. Next up is Clark. Ace is like, oh, I thought that was Sierra. Based off of the previous challenges, it kind of felt like that same type of sensuality and passion that Sierra has kissing in the challenges. I'm like, okay. And Nick is trying to grab a little something. Okay, she puts her hands on her, and Nick is grabbing a little something. And if there's one thing Nick can't do is control himself. So Nick was like, oh, I will. Pepe gives the kiss a 10 as expected. TJ gives this one an 8.5. I'm like, okay, Mr. Tough Critic, at least you gave it a good score. Ace gives it an 8.7. I'm like, Ace, shut up. Just give it a 9. I'm tired. When people be giving it an 8.75, I'm like, what is an 8.75? Why did she lose the last 0.2? 0.3. Sorry. Okay, Taylor gives it a 9. Austin gives it a 4.6 because he wished that it lasted a little bit longer. And Nick says, well, the top lip got a little love, but the bottom lip didn't. So I'm going to give it a 6. I'm like, okay, Mr. Tough Critics. So next up, we have Jaden. And I don't know why, but I felt like all of Jaden's kisses look really, really awkward. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't giving rhythm with any of these kisses when I was watching them. Pepe gives it another 10, as expected. Taylor also gives it a 10, and I'm like, okay. TJ says a 6.5 because whoever it was kissing too hard. This one, I understand TJ, because to me, the kisses also look very forceful. Ace gives it an 8.6, and Nick just gives it a 5. Next up, we have Coco. Fine ass. Coco. Coco? Ooh, you guys ate with Coco. She is gorgeous as fuck. Like, I'm like, ooh, my. So Coco goes in for the tongue with Taylor. I mean, goes in for the tongue. She is tonguing that man down. He was like, well, I feel like, he was like, that's so passionate. It felt sort of like when I kiss Alondria, but it wasn't. I'm like, shut up, Taylor. You don't like when you kiss Alondria, please. And you and Alondria, no shade, no tea, but y'all be having some awkward kisses yourselves. Coco goes in and she starts kissing on Nick's neck, kissing on his body a little bit. So Pepe rates the kiss a 10. I'm like, Pepe, this man, he want him someone. TJ rates it a 5 because he only got 3 little pegs. Ace rates it a 9.6. I'm like, boy, if you don't give that kiss a 10, I'm tired of you. Taylor gives it a 9.8. Austin gives it a 2 because he only got 2 little kisses, and Nick gives it an 8. He says, the kisses on my body, that really did make me want it a little bit more. I'm like, oh, if there's one thing Nick can't do is control himself. So next up is Vanna, and last, zero chemistry with TJ. Zero chemistry. She said there was no chemistry there. So Ace is grabbing some ass. Ace loves it. Ace is in heaven. He is like, who is this? Just a little peck for Taylor, but she goes in for Nick. Vanna says she knows what she wants. She wasn't going to waste her time making out and getting all that spit on the guys that she don't like. Fair enough. So Pepe says, I'm gonna give this one a 9 this time. Ace loved it. He said he loved grabbing up on that ass. So he rated it high because only Shelly would do that. I'm like, okay, Ace. Nick says it was a 9.5, but he wants it to get to a 10. So Ariana tells them finally, remove those blindfolds. And the guys are like, oh my God, these are not our girls. Now, Ariana drops a little secret on them and she says, look, this year, we are doing Casa Amor a little bit differently. This time around, everybody is officially single. And you are going to be pairing up with someone new in Casa. And every single person from the villa and from Casa is going to be back. everybody. So they gonna have a packed villa for quite a while. Now with the guys, remember, there is 5 girls, but 6 guys. So there is going to be people that are not that are not going to have a pairing. And here's the thing, you know, they're doing this because, let's be very honest with you, all of these guys, they were probably gonna recouple, maybe except for 1 or 2 of them. I just don't see a world where the rest of these guys were not willing to recouple. But I feel like a lot of the girls were not gonna recouple, and they knew if they brought back people from Casa, we would have to dump OG girls, and I don't think they want to have to dump all of the OG girls. So that's why they're doing this new thing. Also, we don't have official couples really coming in, so I feel like the reason why Casa hits is because we have new couples, because you're in a locked in pairing and then you do something with someone over there. But because no one's also in legit couples, I feel like it wouldn't even hit that hard if somebody repaired with another person that they met in Casa. So that is my speculation. Now it is time for them to figure out who they are pairing with, and the one single person is going to have 24 hours to make a connection, or they're about to be dumped. So let's get into this. The girls have to pick which guy they want to pair up with. Jaden chooses Austin, and I'm like, oh, that's probably his type. Low key, that is definitely Austin's type. I feel like we haven't seen Austin talk to his true type on this show yet. Mark my words. Vanna chooses Ace. I'm like, okay, you like that, Ace? So Coco and Clark both choose Taylor. However, they do have to choose which one it is. So he chooses Coco. However, he wants to get to know both girls. So right now, Clark has to go back to the side because she's single. Nick is single, and so is TJ. So at this point, Clark, the one girl who's left over, she has to choose between Nick and TJ. She chooses Nick. And from the minute she chooses Nick, you could see on his face, that's not his type. That is not his type. I could see from the second Nick, low-key, and I'm sorry, it just gave disgust. You could tell by the way he was standing. He kept making that face. I was like, oh, Nick don't like that. Nick don't like that. He's mad. He is mad as heck that he came into Casa and he's not getting his dream girl. So those are the new pairings, though.
Vanna and Ace, Clark and Nick, Grayson and Pepe, and TJ.
Let's jump into these pairings. TJ, by the way, is single and he has 24 hours to make a connection or he's going to go home. So everyone's getting to know each other over at the fire pit. Of course, they ask, is anyone closed off? Ace says that he has a great connection with Shelly, but he is open to exploring. Nick says, have a good connection with Sierra, but of course, we are both open as well. We start to break off into the individual chats to know each other. So Pepe and Grayson, they are sort of the first match to talk. He feels that she is very attractive. There's not a lot here immediately, but I think this is Pepe's little type. You know, he likes him a blonde. He likes Hannah. So I think Pepe is happy. Now, Ace and Vanna, they have a conversation, and Ace is like, well, you're the first person I've ever met from Salt Lake City. You can definitely tell that Vanna is feeling Ace. I think she likes it. The verdict is out on Ace. The thing about Ace is that Ace is very confusing. He doesn't go all in immediately, so it's tough to tell where his head is at. So Clark and Nick. Clark is talking about how she feels like Nick can maybe help her get out of her shell. She's a little bit shy. Nick admits in the confessional, 1 point for Lex, that this is not his usual type. He does not want to write it off, but he's also feeling like he's not getting the goofy side that he usually enjoys. So he's not really into Clark like that straight up, which we could tell Nick. We could absolutely and definitely tell. You know you want you some Jaden or maybe Grayson, the blonde girl. You know you want them. Stop it. Stop it, Nick. Don't play with me. So we have Jaden and Austin is having a pretty good talk with Jaden. He is laughing. He's energetic. We have not seen him be this way with Amaya or Shelly for that matter. So again, it's very clear that this is his actual type. He's giddy. He's excited. He says that he is attracted to her. He loves looking in her eyes. And I'm like, okay, now finally get Austin somebody, I guess. And Coco and Taylor, you could tell this man is so nervous. He is fidgeting. He's standing there. They're having a conversation. I'm like, let me find out. I mean, Coco is a baddie. But my girl Alondria better not be in danger. I know we're all going to be in new couples and stuff, but my girl Alondria better be safe. For Taylor, he says that he loves looking into Coco's eyes. He really enjoys talking with her. So we definitely see sparks flying. Let's go over to Casa Amor with the girls. So over at Casa Amor, the girls have just pulled up and so have the boys. Let's jump into these Casa boys. So number one, we have Elan. Why I thought he was fine, but then I found out he's a... Why the cute what? Anyway, he says he wants Sierra. Brian is 28 and he's from Boston. And if you know anything about me, I'm from Boston as well. So we repping Boston out here. Zach is 29. He is originally from Manchester. And all that I know about him is he is supposedly friends with Miguel from last season. Zach, yawn. So there's Zach with a C and Zach with a K. Zach with a K is Manchester Zach, who's from Thailand. Now we have Zach with a C, White Zach. Yawn. I'm sorry. He was very boring. I don't really remember much about him. JD, he is 23. He is 6'6". I was like, not them getting the tall boys. Not them getting the tall boys to sway my girls, because I feel like that is one of the only things that would sway some of these girls is a tall man. And Chris is 27. He is 6'8" and he plays basketball overseas. I'm like, ooh, 6'8". Look, as a girlie who's 5'8", I love to hear that they got 6'6", 6'8". Because look, even those tall girlies want love too. I think it was Andreina who said tall girls need love too. And I'm like, Andreina, you tall, baby? Because me too. And sometimes those 5'8" plus girlies, hey, I'm just saying. So anyways, the girls show up, they start to discuss their couples as well. Everyone essentially talks about how, yeah, I have this connection with Ace. Yeah, I have this connection with Nick. But ultimately, everybody does say they're open to exploring. So Ariana comes in and her little Aladdin, I don't know, it reminds me of Aladdin, her fit, all the jingles. She comes in and lets them know it is time for them to play a game. So it's time for everybody to get on up. So Ariana does fill them in on the new Casa Amor, how once again, all of them are going to pair up as well. Everyone's going to be in new couples. And the one person who is single is going to get dumped if you don't find a connection in 24 hours. So it's time to play a game. They have to take a dart, throw it at a balloon, and then read the question and pick the guys that fulfill the answer to that question.
I would say that kissing Chris was hot and smoky.
Welcome to Love Island.
Yeah. I've never spoken to her yet.
So first up is Amaya. She has to kiss two Islanders who could change her type. So she kisses Chris and Zach with a K. So Chris hoists her on up. I'm like, oh, okay, Chris, I see you, Mr. Muscles, Mr. Buff. And Zach with a K, that kiss was hot. I was like, wait a minute, you two need to be together. That kiss was hot. The chemistry was there. I felt like the rhythm was there. Look at me analyzing kisses and stuff. Let's move on. Huda, she has to kiss two Islanders that she feels are the best kissers. She picks Elan and Brian. So she jumps right on into Brian's arms. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go again, Huda. There's one thing Huda gonna do. She gonna jump in your arms. She gonna touch you. She gonna rub you. She gonna feel you. It's the game though, so I'll give it to her. Sierra, she has to kiss two Islanders who look like players. She also picks Brian and Elan. She felt like they were both giving her the eyes from the seat, so she wanted to explore a little more of what was going on. Ciao. Clearly she likes Elan. You could tell from the kiss she is clearly feeling Elan, and that makes sense. It's given the same vibe as Nick, the white guy with the curly hair. I thought he was cute until I found out about him. Ciao. Anyway, so Olandria has to kiss the first two Islanders who caught her eye. So she picks Elan and Chris. And one thing about Olandria and Shelly is they both seem like they are open to all flavors of the rainbow. So I like that for them. I like when my sisters are open to where the love might be. Anyway, she loves Elan's hair and eyes, she says, and she claims that it was a 10 out of 10 kiss. I'm like, okay. Unfortunately, Elan wants Sierra, but oh, my girl Olandria, please do not let Olandria go home, producers. Y'all gonna make me so mad. So Shelly, she has to kiss two guys who are her type on paper. She kisses Zach with a C, White Zach, and Chris. Chris says that Shelly is his type on paper. He said that caught my eye immediately when I jumped in. Okay. So Iris has to kiss two guys you'd like to get to know better. She kisses Chris and Zach with a C. So she says that it was a real good kiss with she and Zach. And that's like, yeah, that's a match. Girl, you wanted to go for TJ. Now you got White Zach here for you. Yeah, you gon' that's your match right there, Iris. Y'all go link up right now. And last up, Andreina. She has to kiss two guys that she feels would slide into her DMs. She kisses Chris and Brian. With Brian is in heaven. Brian felt she was fine as hell. So again, it's a link up. Go ahead, y'all two link up. So we finish up this kissing game and it is time to couple up. So let's jump into these couples. JD chooses Hutta. He feels the fire in her, but he wants to get to know her soul. I'm like, baby, the fire, aka them tendencies. Okay. So Ilan chooses Sierra. That is exactly what he wanted. So no complaints there. Now, Olandria does not get chosen by anybody, but Ariana does ask her, so are you okay with that? Olandria does say that she's okay because for her, a kiss wouldn't have done it anyway. She's trying to be a good sport about it, but I'm like, please, y'all, do not let my girl go home. What is happening? We love Olandria here. Beauty, brains, gorgeous. What are we doing? So Zach and Chris both choose Shelly, but ultimately Shelly does choose Chris. So Iris and Zach with a C, they are together, and Zach with a C feels that she is all around beautiful. Again, it was a lock for those two. And lastly, Andreina chooses Brian. So at this point, Zach with a K, he has to choose between Amaya and Olandria because they are both single. And I was like, well, by the kiss, it feels like he would choose Amaya. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like he and Amaya had that spicy kiss, but I did not want to see my girl Olandria in any form of danger. I do not want to see that. Zach does end up choosing Olandria, which I'm not going to lie. Kiss-wise and what we saw-wise, that is weird. But of course, deep down inside, I was very happy because that means my girl is safe. I love Amaya, but I love Olandria more. I'm sorry. I do though. So anyway, let's jump in. Amaya does find out that she has 24 hours to make a brand new connection or risk being dumped from the island.
Oh, let's get it.
So we flash back to the villa. So TJ's talking with Vanna. You know, TJ needs to make his little connections or he's going to get dumped. They start to talk about a variety of different things. And Vanna says that TJ is the one person that she really cannot get a read on, especially because he was so harsh on those kisses. So she talks about being 21 and he's like, damn, you're a baby. And I'm like, okay, that is so unattractive. Like, that would turn me off immediately from being with a guy if I told him my age and he was like, damn, you're a baby. I don't want to be with a guy who thinks of me as a baby. Then he starts to talk about, oh, so do you spend your days on TikTok? Like, do you be doom scrolling or whatever? It was weird, but he claims in the confessional that he does like Vanna. He does see something potentially there. I was like, that's just weird to me. Back at Casa, we see some conversations brewing. Olandria and Zach with a K, they are talking.
You're attractive, but I just want somebody that's intentional, like me. I intentionally date. I'm 27, so it's like...
I'm 29.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like...
For Olandria, she talks a lot about how she is dating intentionally. She's looking for somebody that she can really settle down and spend her life with. Zach feels very, very similar about things. Now, he does ask what her typical type is, and she says, well, I typically go off of personality. I don't really have a specific type. Olandria does talk about being 29, and again, how it does, or he he's 29, sorry. She's 27, he's 29. So they both really bond on that they're looking for marriage or seemingly looking for something more stable. For Alondria, she talks about being raised by a single mother. So all of that really matters to her. I do feel like the banter was there. I do think Zach, he is very chatty and he gives me the type of personality where he'll be able to talk to anybody. So I thought I saw banter there, but then Alondria admits in the confessional that she misses her cowboy. And I'm like, why is you missing Taylor? Taylor is long gone. He don't care, girl. And you better step it up, because if Amaya steals your man, girl, I really don't know what your fate is about to be in this villa. So Shelly and Chris, it is flirtation central around here.
So how was your last relationship?
I play basketball overseas,
Yeah.
so I'm constantly traveling.
For Shelly, she does talk about how her typical type is tall and athletic guys. For him, he feels that he locked eyes on her immediately when he walked into the villa. So she really, really loves a tall guy. She's asking him, what are some qualities that you are looking for? He says someone motivated, driven, and can cook. I was like, okay. Shelly's like, that's my love language. Cooking is my love language. I'm like, okay, girl. Let's take it down a little bit. But it seems that there is initial physical chemistry there. Again, it's very clear that this is Shelly's actual type. And y'all know, I have said in little tidbits that I think both Ace and Shelly are running game back in the original villa. Let me just keep it real with you. Okay, I think Shelly likes Ace more than Ace likes Shelly, in my personal opinion. But I can also tell that for Shelly, that's not her like, this my man type, personally. So Amaya and Zach.
They always be like, mi amor, mi vida.
English
And
is the same.
it doesn't mean anything. I'm like learning, like throughout my experience here, that people have.
They start to talk. Amaya, she's a lie right now, as usual. Amaya, the personality is on top. She is gorgeous. There are some pics going around of her on Instagram, because I feel like the villa cameras sometimes will be doing her. She is beautiful. Oh, Amaya is so pretty. She is so freaking pretty. But anyway, she says her usual type is bad boys. And Zach is like, well, I used to be a bad boy. She's like, well, I've had kind of a weird experience in the villa. Like, would you be okay with me calling you babe? Is that something that's going to make you uncomfortable? I'm like, Amaya, you know what? I like that she's learning, though. I like that she's learning because, you know what? That's the way she talks, but I like that she's taking. Her friend Huda should take some cutes. Anyway, so Zach's like, oh, I don't care. Babe, sweetheart, all of that stuff. It doesn't mean it. I'm cool with all of it. So she's like, I would love to have a kiss tonight. I'm not going to lie. And they kiss. And again, their kisses are so passionate. I see it here for them. I just don't want Alondria to be single. If she steals him, I guess. I really don't want that. But I do see it for Amaya and Zach. I feel like Zach matches her energy. As I said, I feel like Zach, very, very chatty. I feel like he also has a big personality. Oh, I'm so scared for Alondria. I really am. So Andreina and Brian, they go to the little hidden soul ties room with that cool door, and they talk about a lot of different things. For Andreina, they get into a conversation about tall girls, and she's asking him, do you usually date tall girls? He's like, well, I have been with shorter girls usually. I mean, that's just who I've dated, basically. Andreina says the tall girls need love too, and I'm like, let's clap it up for that, because yes, I told y'all already. Yes, we do. So they both start talking about what they're looking for. Someone who's family oriented, someone who really cares about, their family and is passionate about those things. He also says that he wants somebody who's a bit more spontaneous. While he'll do a dinner date, he doesn't always want to go to dinner every day. And I love that, because I'm an activity kind of girly. Whether it's with friends, whether it's with my husband, whoever it's with, I love doing activities as much as I like dinner. Dinner is fun. I love to eat. So, I'm not going to say that I don't like a dinner, but I understand they were talking about doing bowling or doing the movies or just doing other things. And I feel like activities can also bring you closer together because it gives you something to talk about. When I was on the dating scene before I met my husband, I was like, I kind of hate some of these dates because we would go to dinner and it would be like we would be forced to have these like deep conversations from the beginning. Sometimes it felt like, whereas I felt like when we did an activity, it would kind of break the ice, get everybody to be a little bit less nervous. serious, and then it would tend to be a lot more fun and we would end up having better conversation, in my opinion. So I get that. Anyway, they're looking at each other a long time, looking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They eventually kiss, of course. And again, this is a link. This is a link. There's nothing to say other than this is a link. Now we flash back to the villa, and you know Nick has been saying all day that he wanted to pull Jaden. That is his type. And immediately from this conversation, you could tell this is who Nick wants.
I like her.
You're a nurse? I love that. I feel like I have type 1 diabetes.
I saw your
He says that he likes a mysterious person because she's talking all about how she works as a detective or something like that. So Nick's trying to be flirty. Nick's so awkward when he tries to flirt. Now, Nick claims that Sierra is always in the back of his head, but he really resonates with her quirkiness and her weirdness. So once again, Nick is in this mental triangle or whatever he's always up in. But you could tell Nick is about to risk it all for Jaden. This is what he wants. But that is how we end off this episode. Okay, what do you guys think about the Casa twist? I like it. I think for this cast, the twist makes sense because, again, we don't have real couples. So they need to do something to shake everything up so people start to get locked down and get serious with something. So I really like it so far. I think on both sides, you know, the cast is not bad. I think that this is a better crop of Casa boys than many previous years. We ain't gonna forget last year's crop. I'm sorry. So this crop of Casa boys, I like them. They all look real good for the most part. So what do y'all think? Let me know what you think. Who do you think is going, you know, do you think these pairs are gonna stay linked up? Who do you think that Amaya is gonna pick, as well as TJ? I know we don't really care about TJ. So who do you think Amaya is gonna pick? Let me know down below. And if you made it to this point of the video, that means you liked the video. So I would greatly appreciate if you would consider supporting the channel by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. It helps to get the videos out there and it inspires me to keep creating. I do have a $1 channel membership, and if you want to support this daily and consistent content, I would absolutely love that. The join button is right here next to the subscribe button. But if anything, please hit that subscribe. We are trying to make it to 8K by the end of Love Island, and my goal by the end of 2025 is to make it to 10K. I really think we can do it. Thank you guys so much, and I will talk to you guys in my next one. Bye.